My name is Daniel Wynn, and by day I invest in sports cards, but by night I make videos about investing in sports cards. I am the great curator. Join me on my journey to break even in the hobby that we all love.
What's up, everybody? The Great Curator here, and today this video is going to be my national recap. If you've seen the other videos, you saw the breakdown of the cards that I picked up. So I gave you the close-up version of those, basically just showing you the cards that I was picking up. But this video is going to be a little bit different. This video, I wanted to talk about just like my overall thoughts about being at the National. That was my first time at the National, first time at any kind of a hobby event just like that. The things that I saw, the things that I observed, the things that I disliked about it, and just my overall impression of the National. For starters, man, I wasn't sure what to expect. I've gone to like hobby conventions before, like little shows here and there. I've gone to like Comic-Con, things like that, but I was just not prepared for the sheer scale of the event. I mean, it was in a huge convention center. Pretty much probably like 1/3, if not half, the convention center was dedicated to the showroom floor for the National, and there were hundreds of dealers there. I couldn't even count how many. It could take you 1 hour to walk from one side of the room all the way to the other side. That's how big it was. And it was kind of divided up in different sections too, so you could easily get turned around and lost in the whole showroom floor. It was crazy. So many people there. Everybody was like, it was like jam-packed. There was definitely no social distancing at the show, for sure. People were wearing masks, people weren't wearing masks, people had cases, people were carrying on wagons, backpacks. It was insane. It was totally insane, but in the most positive way that you can imagine. It was just like, it was so much fun. There were so many things that you could look at. It was easy to get sensory overload walking in there, so that's why a lot of people were giving tips on basically you go there the first day, you walk the floor, you don't try to buy anything, and you just kind of get your bearings for where it was. So that tip helped me out a lot. I did walk the floor about 2 times before I started to kind of narrow in on the cards that I was looking for to purchase. But overall, the scale of the National is legit. I mean, this is a professional organization. This is the biggest show. This is the Super Bowl for the collector hobby. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to Dallas later this month. I'm sure that will be big, but I don't think anything can compare to the scale of the National itself. It is huge. And I was talking to a friend of mine, Ultimate Pastime, and he was making a good point that the National is for the best of the best in each card community, in each local community, wherever you are, whether you're in New York, California, Boston, Miami, whatever. The best of the best go to the National. That's not to say that the people that didn't go are not top of the line in their areas, but really, if you're serious about this hobby, if you're dedicated, then you go to the National. You make the time to go. You dedicate the cost to go there to do your thing, because there's so much to do at the National. The minute you get there, from the day at the convention, all day at the convention, to all night at the hotels for trade night, to being on Instagram, to creating content, to making deals, to whatever it is, it's 24/7. It's nonstop, and you've got to be at the top of your game. The National is not for like the faint of heart. It's not for the newbies going in there. It's for the best people to go there to make deals. I saw people carrying hundreds of cards, carrying just a case full of a couple of cards, but I saw cards ranging from like $1 all the way to like that 4.3 Patrick Mahomes RPA rookie card that was there. So there were cards at all price scales, a lot of deals going down, a lot of cash. I saw some teenage kids with like thousands of dollars in their little fanny packs. I saw people bust out 10 grand, 20 grand to buy, 1, 2 cards, easy. I was looking at some tables and the cards were like $75,000. It was insane. And they were talking about it like it was like so nonchalant, because that is what the National is. You take those things and you put them in a different context, people might think you're crazy. You can't have a $75,000 card at a small local show in your small town. You can't be carrying around $25,000 in cash, going to local shows or Frankensons or wherever you are, because it's too big. It's too big for that small pond. The National is where the big fish go, the big players go. So I was very excited to be part of that. I was very privileged to be involved in all that and to observe it. By no means am I saying I'm one of those top guys, but I was definitely very excited to be just in the facility of all those people. Going into the National, I know we've had a couple down months with the market. So going into the National, there was a lot of talk, a lot of hype, speculation about how like the National was going to set the tone for the rest of the year. And guys, I don't think it disappointed. If there was any question on the health of the hobby, on the level of interest, on how much money is going in and out of the hobby, the National proved that the hobby is healthy. The market is healthy. People were spending money like crazy. Even dealers were not selling under comps necessarily. A lot of them had their prices marked up. Prices were all over the place, to be honest. But you could see a lot of transacting going on. There was a lot of cash deals. There was a lot of trades going on. There was just tremendous amount of activity, tremendous amount of interest in the hobby, which if you're looking at this from an investment point of view, you like this. You like this because this means people are spending money. When people are spending money, then that will drive up the prices of all the other cards, and everybody will benefit from that. So to me, this was a turning point in the year. I think we probably hit the bottom of where the market was going to stop, and you will see it probably going back up. This was kind of indicated leading up to the National. A lot of cards were spiking in price. There was that big Jordan sale. There were some cards, some high-end cards like a LeBron first edition rookie card. I think it hit 37 when previously it was like hovering around 13. So there were a lot of cards spiking up into the National. And then when we got to the National, there was no shortage of deals, transactions, spending going on. People were not shy. I myself spent a lot of money, probably too much money, picking up some cards there, but it was worth it. I mean, the deals were there. Okay, so let's talk about what I saw at the National. I've told you guys about the energy, the enthusiasm, the healthy nature of the market. Let's talk about the cards there itself. So if you've never been to the National, you probably think it's just a bunch of cards, right? But it's very easy to look at things through the lens of a bubble where you are. Here, I'm in Southern California, so I see a lot of graded cards. I see a lot of basketball. I never see any hockey. I don't see memorabilia or anything like that. But at the National, you get everything. I saw vintage baseball. I saw alternative cards, boxing, Olympic, entertainment. I saw hockey. I've never seen so many hockey cards in my life, guys. I mean, like, I didn't even know they made that many hockey cards when I was there. But hockey is definitely a strong niche part of the market that people do collect. I saw raw cards. I saw graded cards. I saw wax. I saw sports memorabilia. Crazy. It's just like anything that you can imagine was there. But what probably surprised me the most was the amount of raw cards there. So in my community, we primarily deal with graded cards, slabs, right? But there, I would say at least 50% of the cards there were raw. And they had lines 2-3 deep of people waiting to get into boxes, people looking at showcases, making transactions on raw cards. So that really kind of piqued my interest in the raw card market. I think so many of us want to just kind of pick up graded cards here and there, but with raw cards, there's a lot of upside to them. If you buy them and they're in good condition, there's always upside if you spend the money to grade them. So that was very evident to me being at the National, just seeing the amount of raw cards there. Definitely modern. Modern is the king right now, modern cards. There were vintage cards there, but like the booths that had the 2, 3, 4 lines deep of people waiting to talk to dealers, that was basically for modern cards. A lot of the baseball cards, a lot of the vintage cards, they were just kind of ignored, to be honest, which I guess that's not how it used to be. It used to be all about vintage, but now it's all about modern. So, that might be a sneaky play. If you're into vintage cards, you don't have a lot of competition right now. So you could pick up those cards and kind of stash them away. I do think that they're probably the best long-term bet in terms of protecting against price volatility. But it was just very interesting that the interest in vintage vintage baseball especially was just not there, in my opinion. It was mostly modern cards, football, baseball, basketball, Pokemon, things like that. Okay, but that's pretty much what I saw there. As far as the prices go, I would say the prices were all over the place. I know a lot of people, I was kind of having discussions with people about going into the National, why everything was going to be marked up and why it wasn't, or why there was going to be good value there because people were going there to move cards. And I would say it was basically all over the place. There were some dealers that had cards twice the comps. I remember this guy, I was looking at a LeBron Chrome Refractor 8, and I think the comp on is 13,000, and he was asking 25,000, and he would not budge. They were still going off of like old prices earlier in the year. So there were those guys were there, and to me, like, if you're pricing a card probably double the comp, you know, and it is available for buy it now in certain places, then you're just there to basically show off the flex. You know, I don't think it's reasonable to expect anybody to pay that much for that card unless you're the only person that has it. So there were dealers there that were just basically flexing, which is, you know, hey, more power to them if they want to spend the money to go out there and do that. There are dealers that had their cards right at the comp price, and the comps were changing every day. I remember the day, you know, day one, LeBron Chrome rookie PSA 10 or PSA 9 was 4,000. The next day it sold at 5,000, and then people were changing the prices on it. So there were people that were working within the comps there, and then there are some people that had some really great deals that had cards below comps. Like their cost basis was probably super low on that, and they were ready to price it to move, and I was able to get some of those deals. So the pricing was all over the place from both ends of the spectrum. I think that you just had to walk the floor and do comparison sales, and, you know, to find the best deals to work for you. But the pricing was definitely all over the place, guys, up and down. I'm not going to say that it was the greatest deals. I'm not going to say that there were no deals. It was just basically all over the place, and you really had to walk the floor and negotiate and be savvy with where you were kind of spending your money. Okay. Let's talk about the items that I saw there. Okay. So, you know, I think it's so easy to kind of get into the habit where you're in your local community, and if you never go outside, outside of your area or outside of state to see a different card show, you don't get to see a lot of variety. So just going back to what I was saying about my example about the hockey cards, in my community, there's no hockey cards at all. Zero, okay? I'll be lucky if I saw a pack of hockey cards somewhere, okay? We're just not interested in them here. But you go out to the National, then you get that variety of hockey cards, okay? So same thing with the cards that you know, all the cards in general. Like, I saw cards that I have only seen on Instagram. I saw cards that I've only ever heard of, and I got to see in person, like a Kobe Credential. I got to hold a Kobe Credential 9.5 in my hand. I've never seen anything. The closest I've seen to that is an 8, BGS 8 here in my area, but to have a 9.5 and hold it in my hand, incredible. I saw a guy who had a 2013 Hulk Hogan PMG, PSA 10 Hogan PMG card there. Not for sale, but he had it there. Incredible. I saw vintage cards, I saw modern day cards, everything. So it was really cool being there, just being able to experience, just to see all the different things that you could never see anywhere else. Even just to hold it or even take a picture of it was a really cool experience. And that alone, for me, just to be like a tourist in the show, that was really cool. It made for great content, posting on Instagram, things like that. I saw a Kobe autograph card where he inscribed Black Mamba on it. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like that before. A couple cool cards that I picked up. I went over my video, but I picked up this 1937 John Sullivan boxing card. You'll never see this. This is a Pop 2, highest grade out there, 1937. You'll never see this again. But at the National, it was there. So that was pretty cool. This very rare Pop 1 Kobe National Treasure card that I picked up. I went over this from a video. Just cool stuff like that that you'll never ever see in your local area. You can see that at National, because National is a collection of dealers from all over the country bringing all their stuff to show off, basically. So that was really cool, being able to see all that cool stuff there and get a chance to really enjoy that side of the hobby. Let's talk about the people. The people there. I've never experienced a situation where a collective group of people came together and that the camaraderie was there from day one. I mean, I've been to Comic-Con, I've been to other collective conventions and things like that. And usually, like with Comic-Con, for example, you'll see like there's different groups. There's people that like comics, there's people that like anime, people like toys, people that like video games, things like that, right? And everybody kind of keeps to their own little subgroups. But with the National, everybody likes cards, and you know, everybody likes basketball cards, everybody likes baseball cards, and even if you don't collect those sports, you can still appreciate it for what it is, because that common denominator of being a collectible card is there. So everybody's on the same page. Everybody is super friendly, super nice. I didn't meet anybody that was rude. Even the dealers that wouldn't work with me on certain things, everybody was super nice, super polite. And just being in an environment like that where you're around peers and colleagues and everybody's on the same page and everybody's welcoming, it was so cool. Such a fun experience. I got to meet people from all over the country. We exchanged contact information. We exchanged knowledge. We made trades, things like that. It was so much fun. Being on the convention floor was a lot of fun. Going to trade nights every single night, guys. There was a trade night from like 6 p.m. all the way to like 2 a.m. every night at each of these hotels. It was so much fun experiencing that and just being around people that have a common interest, a common love for the hobby. It was so much fun. So it's really hard to describe that unless you're there and you can experience that, unless you can see the enthusiasm and you can kind of feed off of that energy. It's hard to describe, but I definitely say the people there were fantastic. No complaints about that at all. Loved it, every part of it. Okay, so that's pretty much my overall take about the National, about in terms of just being able to see everything that you could ever want there, just seeing so many unique things, being around, seeing different aspects of the hobby that you could learn off of, the different activities that were there, the different type of people that you could meet. Everybody was on the same page, everybody's friendly, the deals that you could find, that you could hunt down. Overall, it was such a positive experience. I loved it so much. I had so much fun. I would recommend, you know, for people just getting into the hobby, you know, maybe you have to work your way up to get to the National, because remember I said it's the best of the best that go there. So you kind of have to work yourself up to be prepared to go to the National so that you don't feel overwhelmed and that you can really participate in all the activities. But I would just say if people are thinking about going to the National next year, but they're not sure, maybe they missed out this year, just go to your local shows, kind of build up that skill level, build up that tolerance to be in situations like that where you're dealing, you're talking to people, build up your collection and plan for National next year. Because if you guys are in this hobby, whether it's for investing, whether it's for collecting or something about it that you have fun with, then you need to go to National. It is the Super Bowl, it is the Disneyland, it is the big boy event of the year. There's nothing that compares to this. I don't care what other shows are out there, Dallas, Wisconsin, Miami, there's nothing that compares to the National, okay? So National next year is gonna be in Atlantic City. I'm already planning for that. I'm super excited about that. I hope that you guys can start planning early and that you guys can attend the event, because I guarantee, I can promise you that it is something that you will not regret going to and you will have so much fun, okay? So if I saw you at the National, we exchanged contact information, great. If we didn't, please hit me up. Please like this video, please subscribe, follow me on Instagram at The Great Curator. Leave your comments. I'd love to get feedback on you. If you guys went to the National, leave your comments. Let me know. Tell me what you guys think. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, maybe I missed something and you want to add it, I'll make a follow-up video and we can add that content in there. But overall, fantastic experience. I'm so happy I made the decision to go out there and I can't wait to go next year. Okay? All right. See you guys.